The time is 5 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to Bridge Radio News at 5. You can listen to us at www.bridgeradiong.com. First, the headlines. Special Advisor on Labor Matters appeals to Delta State civil servants to accept pay cuts as a sacrifice. Eyitayo Jegede of the PDP to battle incumbent governor again in Ondo gubernatorial elections. And on the foreign scene, Brazil's president tests positive for the third time. Now the news in full. I am Isioma Bunno. Workers on grade levels 7 to 17 in the Delta State Civil Service, whose minimum wage implementation would be temporarily suspended as a result of dwindling revenue generation, have been asked to bear and see reason with the government. The special advisor to the governor of Delta State on Servicom and labor matters, Comrade Mike Okeme, who made the appeal in Asaba during a press briefing, said Governor Okowa had always been workers-friendly and had been treating matters of concern of the welfare of the state workforce with all seriousness, while affirming the support of the various labor unions, including the Office of the Servicom and Labor Matters, to the decision. Comrade Okeme said that as soon as the economy improved, the temporary suspension of the minimum wage of the affected categories would be reversed, in keeping with the agreement between labor and the state government that it should be suspended for a period of 6 months. Comrade Okeme said that there was an agreement for temporary review of the workers' salary with effect from July 2020. Information Commissioner in Delta State, Mr. Charles Anyagu, has identified wrong address given by some persons who may have been exposed to COVID-19 as a major challenge in the tracing of contacts to flatten the curve of the spread of the virus in the state. Mr. Anyagu, who was speaking in a TV interview, said some of the information required from persons contacted and tested for COVID-19 included their addresses and phone numbers. He decried situations where, when such persons tested positive to the virus, it becomes difficult to reach them for treatment and isolation because of wrong address. The Information Commissioner said COVID-19 was not a death sentence if it is diagnosed on time, and expressed worry about the prevalence of religious bigotry and how it has negatively impacted on the fight against COVID-19. Mr. Anyago enjoined Deltans to report suspected symptoms of the virus to health experts rather than resort to self-medication, assuring that government had provided and furnished isolation and treatment centers for such people. He also decried the erroneous impression in the public space that there was no accountability in the management of COVID-19 resources, stressing that a number of incentives to combat the virus were not donated in form of physical cash but equipment. The House of Representatives has resolved to institute a legal suit against the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, following the expiration of a 48-hour ultimatum. The House had on Tuesday issued an ultimatum to the minister to publish the names of lawmakers whom he claimed had received contracts from the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). The clerk of the House has been directed to issue a criminal complaint of perjury and civil defamation suit against Senator Akpabio. The Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, in a statement, said Senator Akpabio's utterances were intended solely to gaslight the nation to avoid accountability for the evident maladministration and malfeasance in the Niger Delta Commission. Mr. Gbajabiamila said, as the Speaker, he would not allow anyone to assassinate the character of the House in an attempt to defect accountability for their conduct in office. He concluded by assuring the nation that such mendacity as was witnessed at the public hearing would not be tolerated from anybody, no matter how highly placed. The Kaduna State Police Command says it has arrested 217 suspected kidnappers and bandits, robbers, cattle rustlers, and others for various crimes. The State Commissioner for Police, CP Umar Muri, disclosed this at the command headquarters in Kaduna. CP Muri, while parading the suspects, also displayed 43 guns, pistols, and other items recovered from the suspects. He added that they were arrested between April 29 and July 22nd, following a review of the security strategies towards ensuring the state is secured. The Kaduna State Commissioner for Police disclosed that some of the items recovered from the suspects include guns, pistols, live ammunition, machetes, laptops, and fake local police ID cards. Others include fake local and foreign currencies, motorcycles, plasma TV, and some assorted charms. The police commissioner urged the public to be wary about fake local and foreign currencies that have been in circulation. The Job and Wealth Creation Program of the Delta State Government has graduated additional 107 trainees under the Skills Training and Entrepreneurship Program, STEP. Bridge Radio News correspondent Raphael Obasio here brings us the details.
As part of the Delta State government's programs designed to eradicate unemployment by creating entrepreneurs who contribute to the growth of the economy, the Job and Wealth Creation Program officials have taken in the duty of training and equipping trainees with free starter packs. On behalf of the Chief Job and Wealth Creation Officer, Prof. Eric Ebo,
The coordinator of the Skills Training and Entrepreneurship Program, Mr. Onyisi Nkencho, said a lot has been done and achieved through the program.
When His Excellency the Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ato Ifeanyi came on board, one of the key points of the SMART agenda was job creation. And that job creation, the essence is to create entrepreneurs and managers, people who will be able to impact on the economy of the state through job creation. The government has achieved a lot, because from 2015, when this program started, we have over 5,000 people who have been trained and empowered. Many of them have been trained and empowered as entrepreneurs. We train them in different segments of entrepreneurship and business management, right from what we call the orientation program, where we bring them in and we train them, teach them on personal effectiveness. We post them to various enterprises to learn different skills like fashion design and textile design, welding and fabrication. They learn hairdressing and makeover. They also learn decoration and event management. Above all, when they finish that training, we do what we call EBMT. EBMT stands for Entrepreneurship Business Management Training. And then we conduct also what we call the proficiency test. This proficiency test is for the state government to ensure that we are giving starter packs to people who are adequately trained. The Job Creation Office observed that many of these people, when they finish their training and you give them their materials to start business, one of the major challenges that they have is getting a shop. So the state government said, in addition to the grants, the state government should be able to assist them in renting shops. Right from the very first set, several of them that have employed other people, even on their own, tried to train other people. There's one of our trainees in Warri. I think she was in the second set. Immediately after that, she said, as a way of paying back to the state government, she trained about 17 people free. So it's a huge success.
Meanwhile, some beneficiaries of the STEP packages commended the government for the initiative, which they believe would change their lives and that of others for good.
My name is Mrs. Erute Egiri. My program is Fashion and Textile Design. I'm from Delta State, Warri precisely. So I really want to appreciate the government because it's not even a manual sewing machine, it's industrial sewing machine, industrial weaving machine. They shop money, man, that is huge. I want to appreciate Governor Ifeanyi Okowa for this opportunity and this grace you have for me. It's really a big step in my life. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, love.
Yeah, my name is Frank Enoshike, and I come from Delta State, Ibiarako. And this empowerment that Okowa did for us, the government, after our training for 4 months, they still give us some generators, washing basin, steamer, dryer, hand dryer, clipper, so on and so forth, and so many other things that they have already given us that we should use to start our business after our training. So I'm thanking the government for everything that you have done for us.
My name is Iwionoku Alfred Akpofure. I'm one of the trainees of the STEP. Today we are here to receive our starter pack. Being a beneficiary of this program, I'm really very happy. Before now, I've been into normal hustling in the street, doing one or two things just to earn living. So when this opportunity came, I decided to grab it. And I chose hairdressing and makeover, including breeding. And by God's grace, I've been able to pass through the training successfully. And today, having come over to receive my starter pack, I'm very happy. And I really want to appreciate the state government, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa himself, our leaders in charge of the training and the coordinators. And I really want to say a big thank you to them all. And what I'm giving today is really surprising to me. I'm really happy. We have hair dryer, dressing mirror, a generator, other things. Many of the things we needed, the makeup balls and some makeup stuffs, they are all inside. And I really want to say a big thank you. I'm happy for this opportunity. I believe after now, as I leave here today, we are also giving some cash to get a shop. So as soon as I leave here today, I will get a shop and I will start up a hairdressing business and makeup very soon, this same month. And I believe with this, my life is turning a new leaf. Thank you very much.
Mr. Onyisi also advised those who aspire to be prospective beneficiaries of the STEP packages to always be on alert.
Well, what I will say to those that are aspiring is that they keep their ears to the ground, because usually when we want to do this, there's an announcement or advert for people to collect forms, and the forms are free.
Raphael Obasioya reporting for Bridge Radio News.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate in the last gubernatorial election in 2016, Mr. Eyitayo Jegede, has again emerged Ondo State candidate for the October 10, 2020 gubernatorial election. Mr. Jegede defeated 7 other aspirants, including the incumbent Ondo State Deputy Governor, Mr. Agbola Ajayi, who only recently returned to the PDP in culmination of the long-drawn-out acrimony between him and Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of APC. He scored 888 votes to emerge victorious over Mr. Agbola Ajayi, who scored 657 votes. 2,111 delegates were accredited for the primary election proper. Mr. Eyitayo Jegede will face incumbent Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, in a repeat of the 2016 governorship election in Ondo State. Former Delta State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Omar Jeba, and 39 other non-career ambassador designates, earlier nominated by the President Muhammadu Buhari, have been confirmed by the Senate. The Senate confirmation follows the consideration of the report by the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, chaired by Senator Adamu Bulkachuwa. Immediate past editor-in-chief of the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Debo Adeshino, was also among those cleared by the Senate. Meanwhile, Mr. Suleiman Sani was the only career ambassador designate on the list from the Federal Capital Territory. 3 states, Kwara, Kano, and Oyo, have 3 nominees each, while 3 others, Borno, Benue, and Adamawa, got 2 slots each. 20 states had 1 slot each, while 4 states had no nominee. The suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, has opened his defense against allegations leveled against him, which analysts believe would open a can of worms in the ongoing investigation. Among top charges, the Presidential Committee on Audits of Recovered Assets, PCARA, is probing Mr. Magu for illegally buying properties in Dubai and diverting recovered funds into his pocket. In his response to the retired Justice Ayo Salami-led presidential probe panel, Mr. Magu said the allegations against him are malicious and spiteful, purposefully channeled against his dignity and integrity. He said, contrary to the allegations, none of the recovered funds was fraudulently converted to his personal account. He also vehemently and unequivocally denied receiving bribes or concerning recovered loots and challenged his accuser, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, to prove the allegation against him. Mr. Magu admitted having stepped on the toes of those he referred to as the cabals in President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in the course of his fight against corruption, adding that some suspects under investigations are waging war against him. The former EFCC boss, who was said to have turned the EFCC to an empire to intimidate his suspects, claimed he never abused his office as the head of the anti-corruption agency and was not invited to give reports of stewardship when the accounts of the EFCC was being audited by the Presidential Committee on Audit of Recovered Assets, PCARA. The Sultan of Sokoto, Sa'ad Abubakar, has asked district heads and religious leaders to lead Eid prayers in Jumat mosques instead of Eid grounds. The spiritual head of Muslims in the country gave the advice while declaring July 31 as the celebration of Eid al-Kabir. In a statement, Sultan Abubakar called on Muslims to pray for peace, progress, and development in the country. He felicitated with the Nigerian Muslim Ummah and wished them Allah's guidance and blessings. You're still listening to Brigadier News at 5. Still to come, foreign and sports. Please do stay tuned.
Sometimes all you want to do is let loose. All you want to do is have a great night of fun, partying with friends, dancing, and having lots and lots of drinks. Afterwards, all you want to do is get in your car and drive home. But please do not drink and drive, not just because of you, but because of the other drivers on the road. Do not drink and drive for the ones you love. Call a taxi, call a friend, anything but drinking and driving. This message is from Bridge Radio 98.7.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Bridge Radio News at 5. On the foreign scene, President Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil has remained in self-isolation at his official residence in Brasilia after testing positive for the coronavirus for a third time in 2 weeks. President Bolsonaro's medical team revealed the results on Tuesday's test in a statement, which also said the president is in good condition. Due to his latest coronavirus test, the president's advisor said his planned trips to Brazilian states of Bahia and Piauí in the coming dates are currently on hold. President Bolsonaro said he and 4 ministers in his administration are treating their infections with the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine, despite scientists saying that there was no medical evidence to support its effectiveness. And finally, in sports, former international goalkeeper Peter Obiako has been diagnosed with enlarged heart. Mr. Obiako, who is already on admission, is appealing to good-spirited Nigerians to help him raise 5 million naira to enable him undergo surgery. According to him, the ailment was first diagnosed in 2015 but was mildly treated, and he had managed it until early this year when it became worse with increased weakness. The ex-international is currently admitted at the Heartland Cardiovascular Consultant Hospital on Tiwai Danjuma Street off Asokoro, Abuja. He said the surgery was necessary to correct the enlarged heart, that he cannot afford the required sum of 5 million naira, having retired from active service. And that has been the Brigadier News at 5. But before we go, here's a quick look at stories that made the headlines. Special Advisor on Labor Matters has appealed to Delta State civil servants to accept pay cut as a sacrifice. Eyitayo Jegede of the PDP to battle incumbent governor again in Ondo gubernatorial elections. And on the foreign scene, we brought a story that Brazil's president has tested positive for the third time. Remember, coronavirus is real. Wash your hands with soap and running water frequently, and use a hand sanitizer, and observe other precautionary measures as advised. For comments, suggestions, and eyewitness report, please contact the Brigadier Newsroom on 0811 3999 987 or email us at news@bridgeradio.ng.com. You can also log on to www.bridgeradio.ng.com. Thank you for listening. I am Isioma Bunno. Do have a blessed evening.
Bridge Radio 98.7 Asaba. The best mix.
Turn it up, it's your favorite song. Dance, dance, dance to the distortion. Cold enough to